Hey guys, Portia here. Today I am going to be working on this 16-ounce tumbler. I am going to be designing a wrap in Canva. The theme is going to be Attack on Titan. So this is going to be for my son. I haven't made anything for him in a while, but since he loves anime, I'm sure he's going to love this piece. So let's go ahead and jump right in. All right guys, so we are going to go ahead and select Create a Design. And I want to do a custom size, and I'm going to change it from pixel to inches. Now, according to the website, the 16-ounce tumbler is 9.33 by 5.98. And so you always want to measure when you actually get the item in hand, just to make sure. And I did that measurement and we are fine. So this particular wrap is going to go all the way around, and I'm not really worried about the seam in the back. A lot of times I am. This time I am not. We are going to work in layers. So what I want to do first is change this background here to black. And I am going to go ahead and go over to the elements, because with this I want to add in a I guess we can call it a kind of faded ombre effect. So I'm going to just search in here fade, and there's this particular fade that I like in Canva. This is called the ink drop block. So we're going to put that on there. Now it came over in black, but we are going to change this to red. So what I want to do as far as the background for the image we're going to eventually add in, I want to make it like an ombre type effect. So we're just going to stretch this out. Let me move this here. Play around with that a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. All right. That looks pretty good. All right, so now what I want to do is add in our main character. So like I said, this is Attack on Titan theme. And right now my son's favorite character is Levi. And he told me Levi is pretty popular. So I'll just roll with it. I already have Levi saved in one of my folders here. Now, first I thought about using this Levi, but it just doesn't work. The colors are too muted for the background that I'm going to go with. So we're going to use this Levi here. And we're going to go ahead and center him. All right, Levi looks pretty good. Now I don't want it to go too far up to the top of the cup, because I want to ensure that the whole image is sublimated on there without me having to be really cautious about the rim and the bottom. I want everything to fit just so. All right, so Levi is in there. The next thing I want to add in is the Attack on Titan logo. And we are going to turn that sideways. So I actually was going to put a quote on here from Levi. But when I started looking at Levi's quotes, they are pretty dreary. And I was like, nah, that's not going to work for me. And even the positive things that he says are like, they're straight to the point. They're hard hitting. And that's not quite what I'm looking for. I'm like, let's not do that. So one thing I do notice is I put the ink blot up a little bit too high, so we are just going to play with that. Not really worried about the two sides matching up because it's abstract, so we'll roll with it like that and play with this a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now what I want to do is go for this into effects. So we're working with this logo here. We're going to go over into effects, and I want to add a little bit of a shadow here. So let's scroll on down. All right, and the particular shadow that I like for this one is called Page Lift. And I'm going to actually go in there and play with that a little bit because yeah, I want that to be a little bit bolder. No, we don't need to mess with the transparency. So I always like to add dimension to my designs whenever I can. And I think we can roll with this. All right, that looks pretty good. Go ahead and hit apply. All right, so we have all the elements. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I'm not too much worried about the way that it's going to wrap around the back. I know it's going to have a seam. But one thing that I can control is, like, I don't want the black little blotchiness or whatever to go too far up and then the two sides be way uneven. So in order to take care of that, an element that I'm going to add in here is just a line to kind of help me line up the left and the right side of our image. So I'm going to stretch that out a little bit. I want to find the center here. Looks good. Now I'm going to play with this a little bit and stretch it out. Kind of move that around until I kind of match up the two sides and they're not too too different from one another. All right, so this looks pretty good. So I play with that for a little while, and I know that the two sides aren't too far off from one another. And what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and delete that line. We are going to download as a PDF, and I always like to do the high quality. And I'm going to go ahead and print this out on my converted EcoTank. And when we come back, we will be ready to sublimate the image onto our tumbler. All right, so our image is all printed out and dry. I left a little bit of white here, so that'll probably be the side that I overlap. It was on accident and I didn't want to try to cut it anymore, then I might cut it too short. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this wrapped up around the tumbler and then wrap it in parchment paper, and we will be ready to move on to the press. So the heat press is not made for tumblers, of course, so we have to make sure that we compensate for the space. I picked up this, I guess it's a oven mat. It takes up to 500 degrees. The heat press goes up to 400. And so what I'm going to do is just fold this, and this is going to compensate for the space that the tumbler does not fit in. Now the thing about this is we are going to have to turn the tumbler a couple of times to ensure that we get all sides heated up. I'm going to use my tape line as a guide as I rotate the the tumbler around. So I'm going to start with it on its back side. And we are going to pretty much do front, back, side, side, and then I'm going to flip it, do the same thing, front, back, side, side. So let's go ahead and do our first press. All right, guys, I did my last rotation. Can't find my other gloves, so I'm doing it like this. Take this out. It is super hot. All right, now you could let this, take the paper off and dip it in water, but I like the whole method of revealing it. So we're just going to go ahead and let this cool off, and then we'll come back and unwrap and reveal together. All right, we are fully cool, and it is time to see what we got. So let's see what we got. Uh-oh, guys. I didn't tape this up well. And we got white transfer. Okay, but, okay, it's going to be our secret, because the white transfer, we can totally wipe that off. And this actually kind of blends in with like an ombre effect. It created its own ombre effect. So I don't think this one is worth trying to do again. Yeah, I really do wish I could have got this better. I did it differently than I normally do. I rolled the tape over, and normally I just let the straight edge hang out. So that's my bad. That's my lesson learned. But yeah, yeah, like I say, if you guys, I won't say nothing if you won't, and I don't think that my son will know the difference. But I'm definitely interested in seeing how this looks when we clean it up and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, guys, so I wanted to give you all a 360 view and check out the detail there. Although I was a little disappointed when I first unwrapped it, I have to say, kind of works. So we got the color didn't take here because I did not tape it up well, but I don't mind it. Don't mind it. So like I mentioned before, I probably won't redo this cup because you can burn off the original layer and do it again. I think it works. I really do. So I really like the ombre effect that we got going on here. The colors actually did come through quite vibrantly, so that's not a problem at all. My seam, not too shabby. So yeah, definitely will use my other technique that I know works. I don't know why I did something different today. Sometimes it just happens. So yeah, guys, this is all I have for you today. If you got any questions, concerns, emotional outbursts, let me know. Go ahead and subscribe to Color Me Portia. But until next time, peace.